School teaches you how to get a job, how to follow rules, meet deadlines, and work hard so you can earn a salary. You're told that if you study well, get a good job, and work for years, you'll become successful and rich. But no one ever teaches you how money really works, how wealth is actually created, or what the real secret to becoming rich truly is. And that's why most people spend their entire lives working for money, without ever learning how to actually become wealthy. But don't worry, today, I'm going to tell you the story of a boy who discovered that secret. And if you want to know how he found it, listen to this story till the very end. Friends, in a forgotten corner of a crowded city, hidden behind tall buildings and noisy streets, there was a small cluster of broken tin houses. That's where Ethan, a 16-year-old boy, lived. Ethan had no parents, no family, no one waiting for him at the end of the day. His home was a tiny room made of rusted metal sheets. In summer, it felt like an oven. In winter, it felt like a freezer. But to Ethan, it was the only place in the world he could call his own. Every morning, he woke up with the same thought: how will I find work today? Some days he swept the front of small shops. Some days he washed greasy dishes at roadside food stalls. Some days he carried heavy boxes for store owners. And some days, he found nothing. When he was lucky, he earned just enough to buy 2 simple meals. When he wasn't, he went to bed hungry, staring at the tin ceiling, listening to the sounds of the city that never cared whether he slept or starved. Ethan wasn't just tired of being poor. He was tired of not knowing how to escape it. He would often watch people in cars passing by and wonder, they work, I work, so why is my life still like this? The truth hurt him the most at night, when there was nothing to distract his thoughts. He wasn't educated, he had no special skills. And deep inside, a quiet fear kept growing. Maybe this is all my life will ever be. One morning, Ethan searched for work like always. He went from shop to shop, asking the same question: do you need help with anything? But that day, every answer was the same. Sorry, our old worker came back. We don't need anyone today. Maybe next week. By evening, Ethan's legs ached from walking. His stomach burned with hunger. He hadn't earned a single dollar. For the first time in months, he had no money for food. That night, he lay down in his small tin room, hungry and exhausted. The city lights flickered outside, but inside his room, it felt darker than ever. That was the first time it truly scared him. Not the hunger, not the loneliness, but the thought that his entire life depended on whether someone else decided to give him work or not. And as he stared at the ceiling, a heavy realization slowly formed in his mind. I can't live like this, searching for work every single day. The next morning, Ethan woke up with a new thought. Not hope, not confidence, just a simple decision. I need something permanent. A steady job. Something that guarantees I can at least survive. That day, he walked farther than usual, asking at bigger places. After hours of rejection, he finally found a small local restaurant willing to hire him. The job wasn't glamorous. He cleaned floors, washed dishes, took out trash. But for the first time in his life, Ethan had something he never had before. A fixed monthly salary. And to him, that felt like security. Like progress, like maybe, just maybe, life was finally starting to change. Ethan worked every single day. He never complained, never skipped work. Never made excuses. Months passed. He could afford food regularly now. He even started saving a little money. From the outside, it looked like his life was improving. But inside, something didn't feel right. Every day was the same. Wake up, work all day, come back tired. Sleep, repeat. One night, after finishing a long shift, Ethan sat alone in his small room, staring at his hands, rough from soap and hard labor. A full year had passed, and suddenly, a painful question hit him harder than hunger ever had. I've been working non-stop, so why does my life still feel stuck? He had more stability, but not freedom, not growth, not a future he could see clearly. For the first time, Ethan realized something he had never understood before. Working hard was helping him survive, but it wasn't helping him move forward. That thought followed Ethan everywhere, while scrubbing dishes, while mopping floors, while walking back to his tin room under the dim streetlights. For the first time, he wasn't just tired, he was questioning everything. If I keep living like this, will anything ever really change? Days passed, but the question stayed. Until one evening, Ethan made a small decision, something he had never allowed himself before. He decided to take a day off. No work, no rush, just one day to breathe. The next morning, Ethan wore his cleanest clothes and took a long bus ride to the beach, a place he had only heard about from others. He sat quietly on the sand, watching the endless waves crash and return. For the first time in years, his mind felt still. No noise, no orders, no dirty dishes waiting for him. Just the sound of the ocean, and his own thoughts. That's when a voice interrupted him. Cold drink. Ethan looked up. A boy, probably around 20, stood there with a small cooler box filled with bottles. Yeah, Ethan said, handing over a few coins. As they talked, Ethan casually asked, "So, do you work here every day?" The boy smiled. "I don't work here," he said. "I work for myself." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" "I buy these drinks in bulk from a wholesale shop," the boy explained. "Then I sell them here. I make good profit. I choose my hours. No boss. No pressure." He picked up his cooler and added with a grin, "I don't work under anyone. I run my own thing." Then he walked away. A sentence that changed everything. Ethan sat frozen. "I don't work under anyone. I run my own thing." The words echoed in his head louder than the waves. That boy looked relaxed, free, in control, and he was earning money too. Ethan thought about his own life. He worked harder, longer hours, did everything he was told, yet he was still stuck. How is he freer than me, when we both started with nothing? That night, back in his small tin room, Ethan couldn't sleep. For the first time, he wasn't thinking about survival. He was thinking about possibility. If he can run his own small business, why can't I? But reality hit quickly. He had no big savings, no education, no business knowledge. Still, a new idea had been planted, and it refused to die. Ethan didn't quit his job. Instead, he changed his approach. "I'll keep working, but now I'll work with a plan." He started saving more seriously, spending less, observing more. Whenever he passed small food stalls, he stopped and watched. How many customers came? What sold the most? What time was the busiest? He asked questions, listened carefully, learned silently. For the first time in his life, Ethan wasn't just working for money. He was preparing to make money work for him. Months passed. His savings slowly grew, and one idea kept returning to him again and again. A simple food stall, something small, something he could start, something that would be his. One night, after counting his savings again and again, Ethan took a deep breath. The money wasn't a lot, but it was enough to try, enough to take a risk, enough to stop being just a worker. As he lay down to sleep, staring at the same tin ceiling he had looked at for years, his heart was racing, not with fear this time, but with determination. "I don't want to just earn money anymore. I want to build something." And the next morning, Ethan took the first real step toward changing his life. He didn't quit his job immediately. Instead, he worked for a few more months with a new mindset. Every dollar he earned now had a purpose. He cut unnecessary expenses, saved carefully, and kept learning by watching other small vendors. Finally, the day came. With shaking hands but a determined heart, Ethan bought a second-hand food cart, a small oven, basic ingredients, and rented a tiny corner spot near a busy market street. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't perfect, but it was his. Ethan's very first business. He decided to sell something simple and popular, pizza slices. The first few days were quiet, very few customers. Some people just walked past without even looking. But Ethan didn't feel discouraged. Because for the first time, every effort he made was building his own future, not someone else's. He improved his recipe, learned to talk politely to customers, kept his stall clean and welcoming. Slowly, people began to notice. "This pizza is actually really good," one customer said. Then they told others. Word started spreading. Within months, his small stall had a regular crowd. And something inside Ethan changed again. He wasn't just earning daily cash anymore. He was creating value, and people were paying him for it. After nearly a year, Ethan faced a new problem. Too many customers, too little space. He was working non-stop, but this time, it felt different. He wasn't stuck, he was growing. So he made another bold decision. He rented a small shop, a real place, with walls, with seating. On opening day, he put up a simple board outside, Pizza King. It was the first time he gave a name to something he built. Customers came, then more came. Then online orders started. Ethan hired 2 helpers. For the first time in his life, people were working with him, not the other way around. And that's when the biggest realization hit him. I'm not just working for money anymore, money is working for me. Ethan didn't stop. Instead of spending all his profits, he reinvested them. Better equipment, more staff, bigger kitchen. 1 shop became 2, 2 became 5. Years passed, not in struggle now, but in smart growth. Eventually, Pizza King became a small but well-known brand in the city. 10 branches, dozens of employees. A small office where Ethan now planned expansions instead of washing dishes. The boy who once depended on daily labor just to eat, now built systems that earned money even when he slept. Ethan often thought about his past, about the tin room, the hunger, the endless job shifts. And he finally understood the truth that had changed his life. Hard work can help you survive, but only smart work and ownership can make you wealthy. He learned, heavy checkmark a job gives you income. Heavy checkmark a business gives you freedom. Heavy checkmark saving gives you opportunity. Heavy checkmark risk creates growth. Heavy checkmark money should not only be earned, it should be invested to create more money. Ethan was never highly educated. He didn't have rich parents. But he learned the secret most people never do. Backhand index pointing right. You don't get rich by working for money. You get rich by making money work for you. So if you feel stuck, if you work hard but your life isn't moving forward, remember Ethan. Start by being consistent. Save what you can. Learn how value is created. And when the time comes, take the risk to build something of your own. Because the real secret of money isn't just earning it. It's learning how to turn it into something that earns for you. If this story inspired you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel Path of Win. For more powerful lessons about money, success, and mindset. Your support helps us bring you more stories that can change your life.